If they don't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you not guilty. And with me, whether or not someone is found guilty or not guilty is based upon the evidence that's presented to me. It's not based upon the charge. Like some people will say, it's a bench trial, it's a murder. I know the state didn't prove their case, but I'm really afraid to do it not guilty. That's not me. I'm just going to listen to the evidence and I'm going to make a decision, guilty or not guilty, based upon what's presented to me. All right?
I'm scared right now. I believe God will make a way though. And I mean, like, I got a lot to lose. And
okay, let me just tell you something, what I've learned from my time going to church. Sometimes God's answer is yes. Sometimes God's answer is no. I was always taught whatever answer you receive from God is a good answer. And you need to thank him 1,000 times for that answer. So that's where you are. But I will tell you this, you need to look at your case objectively. I would always tell my clients, let's pretend this is not your case. And the reason why I would tell them that is so that they can look at it objectively. So you need to sit with your attorney and look at your case objectively. All right? Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. All right, so we're scheduled for trial today. Everybody ready?
No, Your Honor, we're not ready. My client does not want me as his attorney anymore. And the feeling is mutual. And feel like our conversation, a breakdown in our conversation, that
Well, this case has been going on since October 2025. So if there was going to be a breakdown in communication, it should occur before then. So y'all
it did, Your Honor. We thought I could salvage it because I think the court would have maybe encouraged us to see if the relationship can go any further.
All right, so which case are y'all going to trial on first? Okay. 5412. All righty, Norma, have a jury come up here by 1:30.
My client also, you have something to say, right?
I wanted to thank the prosecutor. They had a reasonable offer.
No. Here's the thing. I'm not allowed to hear about your negotiations. What's going to end up happening is we're going to be back at 1:30 for a jury trial.
Well, I was asking for a bench.
That's another thing. My client did inform me yesterday that he liked a bench trial and
Well, you can discuss it with your attorney and see if what she thinks on that. If everybody agrees to the bench trial, then we can have a bench trial.
I've discussed it with him and he has made that decision yesterday and today.
All right, then you all need to fill out the request for the bench trial. Say, do you have any objections to a bench trial? All right, so Norma, if you can get the paperwork for them for a bench trial.
Bench trial?
Yes. And State, do you have any witnesses for today? All right, then we'll start tomorrow. But sign, give him the information for the bench trial.
Your Honor, just so I'm assuming you're not going to let me off the case. And at 10:30, I do have a parole hearing that I'm scheduled to do. It should just be an hour.
Okay.
If the court could work with my schedule, I'd greatly appreciate it. It's just hard to reset parole
no, I used to do
cases.
parole hearings.
Yeah,
I understand.
It's like an act of God to
Okay.
do that.
All right, if you'll go over the bench trial information with him.
Okay.
There were just discrepancies.
Here's the thing, whatever discrepancies you're saying that are with the state's case, that's something that's handled on cross-examination of witnesses. Okay.
That's because my attorney's saying that it's okay.
No. Here's the thing.
I'm having a hard time understanding.
No.
And
So let me just explain this to you, and I want you to internalize what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been a defense attorney. I've been a prosecutor. And what I've learned is, have you ever heard of the saying where people say a little bit of knowledge is very dangerous? Have you ever heard that saying?
Yes, ma'am.
I've come to learn based upon my experience on the planet, I now know what they mean by that, right? And in your case, or maybe not, this is what it means. Have you ever read the Bible before?
I've been reading it every day.
All right, here's the perfect example. Someone will read the Bible and they'll read Genesis. Me, when I would read the Bible, and I still do, I would tend to get bogged down because I'm always looking for the quiz, because professors and teachers would always give you a quiz about the minute stuff. So in Genesis, when they're doing the begets, so-and-so beget this person, in my mind, I'm trying to memorize it, right? And so I've read through Genesis. And then when people read Genesis and they're like, I know Genesis, and they start quoting passages, but there are other books in the Bible that are connected to Genesis that people don't realize where this picks up. It's sort of like when people say revenge is mine and they put a period after that. And it's like, no, revenge is mine, saith the Lord. So it's the same thing with the law. This is our book that we have to know. And we have to know case law too. You will have some people, and I think your attorney will tell you this, they'll read something and it sounds great for their case. And they're like, here we go. This is great for my case. And then the attorney tries to explain to them, either that doesn't apply to you, or either there's another section that's attached to that section that is not good for you. So what I can tell you is, I believe your attorney has read this book, because we've all read this book. I believe your attorney has read case law. You know why? Because we've all had to read the case law. So your attorney is an expert for you about the law. And that is the person that you need to ask questions of. Now, during your trial, what will end up happening is the state, they're going to call their witnesses. They're going to question their witnesses. Your counsel will get a chance to cross-examine those witnesses. Since you're coming to me for a bench trial, I will make the determination of whether I think someone is credible or not, whether I think they're telling the truth or not. If you go to a jury trial, the jury will make the decision on whether they believe somebody's telling the truth or not. That's the way it works. So a bench trial before me, I'm considering all of these things. This is what I can tell you about a bench trial with me. If the state proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you guilty. If they don't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you not guilty. And with me, whether or not someone is found guilty or not guilty is based upon the evidence that's presented to me. It's not based upon the charge. Like some people will say, it's a bench trial, it's a murder. I know the state didn't prove their case, but I'm really afraid to do it not guilty. That's not me. I'm just going to listen to the evidence and I'm going to make a decision, guilty or not guilty, based upon what's presented to me. All right?
You know, I'm scared right now. I believe God will make a way though. And I mean, like, I got a lot to lose. And
Okay, let me just tell you something, what I've learned from my time going to church. Sometimes God's answer is yes. Sometimes God's answer is no. I was always taught whatever answer you receive from God is a good answer. And you need to thank him 1,000 times for that answer. So that's where you are. But I will tell you this, you need to look at your case objectively. I would always tell my clients, let's pretend this is not your case. And the reason why I would tell them that is so that they can look at it objectively. So you need to sit with your attorney and look at your case objectively. All right? All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 012487, State versus Philip Perez. Can I have parties announced?
State.
Fernando Cortez for Mr. Perez.
And are you Mr. Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have your honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. And counsel, in this case, was there ever a mental health evaluation?
Yes, we just came from that court maybe a week ago, judging and found competent, but with significant issues.
All right. All right, Mr. Perez, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
I waive reading, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are proceeding solely on count one, waiving.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, you're charged with theft of property more than $300,000. That's a first-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state will call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
You have, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and reentry. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count one. They're waiving count two. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 18 years in the prison. There's a $1,400 fine, no applications. This will run concurrently with the case out of Kendall County, case 9493. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State? Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? By signing that you're waiving your right to appeal, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and state, was the vehicle returned? All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses? The state will call in the right to cross-examine any witnesses and the right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, please.
Right. So, Mr. Perez, why did you take an ambulance?
I was just going crazy. I was like mad.
Okay,
And that's one of the issues with the competency judge. He got serious prior diagnosis.
Mhm.
He was found competent, and I think he was homeless at the time that this occurred and was not taking meds and stuff, so that's kind of what happened.
okay. And what is the the Kendall County case? Okay. All right, thank you, State. All right, this is the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to the 18 years, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrently with your cases in Kendall County. And that's case number 9493. I'm going to request the therapeutic community, and there's to be no residing in households with minors. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing.
May I
You,
mention one thing, Judge,
Yes.
please, on the record that,
okay, on the record?
yes, Your Honor, please. He was already at TDC, and we're simply asking for the court to indicate on the record that the time that he got here would run concurrent with any TDCJ obligations or time.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can do, because I don't know the time frame of that, the clerks will be able to look it up in the system. What I can tell you, while this case has been pending, right, you had a warrant for this case, you will receive credit from that day. Okay? All right, so here's the thing. The state waived the habitual enhancement. If they would not have waived that, your minimum would be 25 years. So when you're released from custody, the first thing you need to do is go to the Center for Healthcare Services, tell them you need a case manager, and let them know when you leave the prison, they will give you your diagnosis if you request it. So make sure you request that and make sure you have a plan. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank
You're
you, Your
welcome.
Honor.
Anyone else ready?
Do you not have anything else with that occupational license? Oh, Arlene? Arlene was this.
Arlene Gay?
Yes, it was fine, just put the percentages.
All right,
I'm sorry.
for this, see if Judge Nahara or Hofstadter is able to hear this. All right, Arlene Gay? Hello. Gonzalez Jr. Can I have parties approach and announce for the record?
Ready for the state?
Melissa Christian for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, just one second. Odyssey is doing its thing again. Counsel, have you received all discovery?
I have, Judge.
And did you review it with your client?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the court's admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1. Penalty group 2, 1 to 4 grams. That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine, counsel. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is requesting $1,000 fine be probated, and they're asking that you be placed on deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, MRT, regular UAs, and the DOEP course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
State any evidence.
Judge, we have six in number one and all attachments.
We have no objections.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state. The court will find that there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, he knows that he made a mistake. He really wanted that deferred because he has some significant plans for his future. He wants to keep all of his options open to be able to apply perhaps to be a fireman or to go into the Army. And so he's very motivated to get this successfully completed, and I think he's a good candidate for that.
All right, how old are you?
22 years old now.
All right, and who is Brittany Mata?
My wife, slash baby mother.
All right, how many children do you have?
2,
And what are their ages?
1 and 3.
All right, and if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? Here's the thing, you have to tell me the truth, right? Because I'm going to find out anyway.
Nick, 30,
Okay, so dirty for what?
marijuana.
All right, so here's the thing. You're going to have to stop using drugs while you're on probation,
Yes, ma'am.
because I'm hoping you want to be a good father to your children, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And if the mother is using as well, that's a big no-no. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because your children are 100% dependent upon you and her.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't just leave them at Travis Park and say good luck to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I would hope that anyone who is a parent to a child wants that child to be proud to say, that's my mom, that's my dad. So you are where you are right now, but hopefully this is not the end for you. You can improve.
Yes,
All right. So how far did you go in school?
I made it to 9th grade, high school.
All right. Is there a reason why you dropped out?
I had went to jail. I did a year in there. I got out for like a month. Then I went back. Then I got sentenced to TJD for 18 months. And I got released when I was 17 years old. By the time I was 17 years old, I started working and I started making a living for myself.
Okay. All right. So this is not the end for you. You still have a chance to do great things,
Yes, ma'am.
right? You just made it a little bit harder for yourself, but it's not the end. So you work, what do you do?
I'm a self-employed landscaper. I run a business, masonry, landscaping, synthetic grass.
Mhm.
That's about it.
Okay. And the tattoo up here, who is that?
My mother, she passed away when I was 11 years old.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I always tell people, if you're gonna get a name tattooed on your body, children's names are always a safe bet because you're always supposed to love them. Mother's name is a safe bet because they're always supposed to love you.
Yes.
All right. So your mother's death, has that ever been addressed with you, or do you need some help addressing that?
I've been a counseling and therapist when I was 12 to 13,
Mhm.
and that's about it. I went to Knowledg
Mhm.
for about 30 days to 90.
Okay.
I got released from that, and I never had counseling since then.
All right. Well, if you want some counseling, probation will be able to provide it, but you just got to let them know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And here's the thing, you, for this probation, make sure you always report, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So what do you need from me that you think will help you be successful on this probation? What could help you get your life on track?
I believe my life is on track already. I just made a mistake.
Well, now these are choices, okay?
Yeah, this is my choice. It's just a bad choice I had made.
Okay.
And I was trying to become a firefighter before this case happened,
Okay.
but I had to go to a class, I believe.
Mhm.
And then by the time I was gonna go to the class, I hadn't already caught this charge. So.
Okay. And so is there a reason why you had a gun? And has that case been taken care of, or was there ever a case with that?
There is a case that's going to be taken care of in misdemeanors. They can never take those into consideration. There's a policy.
Which of these policies?
I
that people just,
can't even explain it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
okay. So what's going to happen with that?
Hopefully we'll get that resolved one with either time served or that he's doing all of this.
All right. Do you have a cause number?
Uh,
Because I will run it concurrently with this
Okay.
just in case something else happens with it.
here it is. It's 2025 PF
Mhm.
18215
18215.
215, and it's in county court at law 15.
Okay. All right. This is what the court will do. Court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication.
Thank you, Judge.
There's $1,000 fine that's going to be probated.
And I can say that whenever, or is there a time?
No, you don't have to pay that. If you successfully complete the probation, you're not going to owe $1,000.
And she'd rather the $1,000 go towards your babies.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. There's going to be 100 hours, 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once you've completed the parenting classes, 100 hours of those of the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. And counsel, I can tell you right now, if you want to be a firefighter, if you want to be in the military, you're going to have to be clean and sober.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I can tell you, if you are able to provide proof that you've been accepted into the military or accepted as a firefighter, I will, off the record. Abrams, do we have any type of trauma support in case he needs that?
Judge, we can do an ACEs, referral or
All right, they're going to do an ACEs referral for you. If you decide, hey, I'm not ready, just let them know, but it'll probably help you out, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to do regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. I'm going to order sober support meetings. once per week. For every sober support meeting you complete, 1 hour will be deducted from your community service restitution. And Ms. Abrams, make sure they test him for levels.
So no more they're testing your levels. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The levels have to go down.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll do a TAP evaluation out of custody. And if they recommend inpatient treatment, we'll start with supportive outpatient treatment. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from me in order to be successful?
I was wondering about my GED because I think I need that in order to go to the Army. I had got a GED online, but they said that it doesn't work to go to the Army. So it's like a 3rd level, I believe.
All right. So if you speak with probation, can you give him information concerning where to obtain his GED?
See how that worked? You asked and boom, they're going to help you with that. Okay.
Right. Anything else you need from the court?
That's about it, ma'am.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I follow your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Abrams, one other thing, is there any need for you to have weapons?
No, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Abrams, should this be a no possession of firearm? All right, so we're gonna do no possession of weapons. And this will run concurrently with 2025 PF 18215. All right, good luck to you. If you need anything, be sure to let probation know, and whatever you do, do not disappear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck. All right, so why is he in custody?
He was, hold on, I'll talk for you. He was indicted on February the 11th. And unbeknownst to me, he's on the monitor.
Mhm.
They could have picked him up at any time between then and now, and we could have resolved all this, but now we're stuck. Anyway, he's in the he's in custody because he's a post-indictment fugitive on a warrant that I explained to him. They don't, since I'm not his lawyer till he gets arrested on it.
Yeah.
They don't tell me about it. So I didn't even know the warrant existed.
Okay.
But it's unfortunate because he's on the monitor.
Yeah.
But he has to go to the jail and be processed. His family's already going to the bond company. So I'm just seeing if we can reset him today so I can get him out of the courtroom and back on his way back to the jail.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I've made some mistakes in my past and all these cases that are catching my go to me.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Because number one, I don't want you to say anything that you possibly should not be saying. Your attorney has explained to me what has happened. And so sometimes what ends up happening, and I tell people this before, you could just be out enjoying your life. You're on bond, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And all of a sudden you get arrested on a case because it wasn't filed. You were not arrested at the scene. And then they arrest you. And so your attorney has explained to me what you are being arrested for is not because of something you're alleged to have done recently. This is something from the past. So I know that you've been doing well on bond. Otherwise, you would have been in custody because it would have came to me. All right. So does he have a bond?
No, he doesn't. But I've spoken to the state. They're in agreement with, oh, she's over here. I'll let her. I didn't see you. Sorry, Megan, I didn't see you.
So in this case, I've agreed to a bond amount of $50,000 due to the fact that the defendant or this offense predates the ad robbery that he been in court for, and because he hasn't had any bond violations.
All right, let's go on the record.
That is their recommendation. I would certainly be happy if the court would consider something less. As she mentioned, This offense,
Oh, let's go on the record.
I
yeah.
thought we did. I'm sorry.
No, 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 we're not on the record
Okay.
yet. I haven't called the case.
Okay.
All right, court is calling 2026 CR 001984, State versus Derek Lopez. Can I have parties announced for the record?
In Dallas State,
Charles Blunt for Mr. Derek Lopez, and Mr. Lopez is present.
All right. It's my understanding that the defendant has been arrested on an at-large case. Is that
Correct,
correct?
Judge.
And this instant case was at large, correct?
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, this case.
Yes, the new case, yes.
All right.
Now, the new case predates, I don't know if your docket tells you how many times we've been to court on the case we were set for today,
Mhm.
but it's been, to my knowledge, 3 or 4 at least. And this offense that he was arrested for today predates his indicted case.
Mhm.
And then about 3 months ago, there was a misdemeanor at-large warrant from this incident, the new incident, the incident we're here for today.
Mhm.
He made that bond for the misdemeanor. And then now, after all of that's been done, now he's been indicted for this new case, once again, that happened before the case we're before the court on.
All right, and the court would note for the record that the defendant has had settings in this court since October 2025.
and just so the record is clear, for the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, the offense state does predate the offense that we're here for, which is the ag robbery. So for the ag assault deadly weapon, the offense date is April 20th of 2024, and he was just indicted on that.
February the 11th.
11th.
All right. And so state, what bond amount are you requesting?
Judge, I'm recommending a $50,000 bond, and then with the GPS, which it should be higher, but the reason that I'm recommending $50,000 is because he shows up for work. And also a no contact order with,
One point you're gonna ask if it's true or not true. If you look those faster, it's true. Okay.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 010476 and 2022 CR 6944, State versus Malik Estrada. Can I have parties announced?
Charles Blunt for Mr. Estrada.
And are you Mr. Estrada? All right. Did you review the motions to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Malik Estrada who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 6944 for aggravated robbery on January 17, 2023 for a period of 7 years? And are you the Malik Estrada who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 6944 for the offense of, this is incorrect. All right, let's go off the record. All right, thank you. All right, we're back on the record. Are you the same Malik Estrada who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2024 CR 010476 for the offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon with a felony conviction on October 17th, 2024 for a period of 5 years? Is that you? All right, State, are you proceeding on the same violations in each cause?
Judge, actually, we are gonna be proceeding on the same violations for each cause. However, we're going to, in each case, withdraw and amend. And we're gonna ask for a mental health evaluation. Proof of employment, proof of residence within 45 days. And a weekly report.
Hold on, but first let him plead, he needs to plead true. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So are you all proceeding on the same
Yeah,
allegation
yes.
in each motion? All right,
Judge, will be going on violation condition number 2, specifically that on or about the 11th day of April 2025, in Berry County, Texas, the defendant Malik Estrada They then and there fail to submit drug testing as directed by the court officer, or supervision officer, and or duly authorized agent of the court in violation of Commission.
How do you plead to that?
True.
State,
And that will waive your remaining.
any objections to the waiver?
No.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2 and the cause number ending in 4-4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to life in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Sir, you need to have a seat. And did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2 and the cause numbering ending in 7-6, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true in each cause number? In each cause number, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. All right, so the state has already said that they're asking not that the motion be withdrawn, but that conditions be altered and amended. So what I need to know from the parties, what are the issues? What's going on here?
Well, at the time of our number one that was waived, he was homeless at that time. That was about a year ago from now. Since then, he has a job, he has a residence, he has an automobile. After conferring with probation, the plan is for him to be evaluated for the mental health department. So see if he qualifies for their treatment, follow whatever recommendations they make. And he's going to provide proof of the employment and residency immediately, and then report weekly for 30 days. And that was the recommendation of probation.
All right. And state?
And we'll be following probation.
All right, thank you. No, you're not. All right, but I do have some questions for him.
Of course.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Malik Strada.
All right, so what's going on in your life? Why are you here before me?
At the time, I had just got out of lifetime recovery, and then I was working at Jack in the Box, and then so I didn't have a place to stay because they were asking a lot for where I was gonna stay at. So I went into an abandoned house just for the night to sleep, but I did have a job, and then I got enough to save up for a car, but then that's when my MTR hit. So then came back to this.
All right, so you don't have family support system?
Well, I have my she's like my sister, but my family is in El Paso, so I don't have anybody really out here, just her.
Do you need your probation transferred to El Paso?
That was a plan, but I didn't get to that.
Well, we're getting to it now. Because let me just tell you, probation is difficult, and it should be difficult because it's designed for rehabilitation. But sometimes people cannot make it on their own. They need a support system. The fact that you've been to lifetime recovery, the fact that probation is saying that there needs to be mental health evaluation, maybe you need a support system. Now, if your family is not a good support system, then maybe that's not where you should be. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, that's what I'm still trying to figure out as well.
Well, so do you want it transferred to El Paso?
The only reason I'm staying out here was because of my kids. So, but I wasn't really, I was really like just passing around as a kid. So like, they're not really a good support system. So.
Okay.
On his behalf, Judge, his residence is going to be with his sister here in San Antonio. So he can keep the job that he has and stay close to his children.
All right. So are you going to be able to do this successfully?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying you're stable now?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you still have, since you've been arrested, do you still have a place to stay?
Yes, ma'am. And I still have my car.
All right. All right. Anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
And so probation, you're asking for what specifically?